conquer the land. You may slaughter the people. That is not the end. We will rise again. The day Rome falls, there will be a shout of freedom such as the world has never heard before.
Hollywood loves to slap the word epic on anything over 3 hours, but some of these movies are just painfully long. Sure, they've got massive battle scenes, but halfway through, you're more invested in how much time's left than the actual plot. It's not that they're bad, they just confuse long with good. Here are 12 films that stretch the definition of epic a little too far. Kicking off our list is the Russian adaptation of Tolstoy's monumental novel, War and Peace. Spread over 4 films, the total running time hits a whopping 431 minutes. That's nearly 7 hours of court intrigues, Napoleonic wars, and philosophical musings. If you ever wondered what it would be like to read the book in real time, this is your answer. While lauded for its authentic portrayal of the era and massive battle scenes, you might find yourself wishing for Napoleon to hurry up already. Rotten Tomatoes' audience score stands at a solid 85%, suggesting that for some, length equates to quality. Kevin Costner's directorial debut, Dances with Wolves, is a Western drama about a Union Army officer's bond with a Lakota tribe. It swept the Oscars with 7 wins, but its 181-minute runtime, slow pacing, and Costner's whispery voiceovers feel more like a lullaby than a masterpiece. Watching Costner wander around, narrating everything, could put anyone to sleep. How this movie beat Goodfellas at the Oscars is still a mystery. And no, it's not about the lack of action. The Shawshank Redemption and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest don't rely on explosions either, but they're definitely not boring. Cleopatra, known more for its off-screen drama than its on-screen plot, turned out to be a financial sinkhole for 20th Century Fox. The original cut of the film reportedly ran for 6 hours, but even after significant trimming, it weighed in at a substantial 248 minutes. Sure, the film swept up a bunch of Oscar nominations, and Elizabeth Taylor's eyes sparkled like the Nile under the Egyptian sun, but the prolonged spectacle started to feel like a history lecture from a professor who forgot his notes. A classic, no doubt, but also a whopping 238-minute spectacle that makes you ponder the meaning of life and not in a philosophical way. As beautiful as Vivien Leigh was, and as dashing as Clark Gable appeared, the drawn-out drama of Scarlett O'Hara and Rhett Butler lost its wind about halfway through. Though it remains one of the highest-grossing films of all time and boasts an 89% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, modern audiences often deem it more melodramatic and way more problematic than magnetic. Director David Lean loved nothing more than sweeping landscapes and narratives that didn't rush for anyone. His magnum opus, Lawrence of Arabia, is the pinnacle of that approach. Clocking in at 227 minutes, the film moves at a pace that feels as endless as the desert it's set in. And while Peter O'Toole's striking blue eyes and a shelf full of Oscars kept some viewers hooked, others might find themselves sinking into the slow sands of boredom. The second installment of Francis Ford Coppola's iconic Mafia trilogy is arguably one of the greatest sequels ever made. However, at 200 minutes, it's also a test of one's endurance. Shuffling between 2 timelines, the film is rich in narrative and performance, especially Al Pacino's, who received an Oscar nod for his role. However, the densely packed plot can be exhausting, especially if you're not particularly interested in the intricacies of mob politics. Here's an epic that took home 5 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director. Clocking in at 183 minutes, The Deer Hunter explores the psychological turmoil of 3 steelworkers before, during, and after their service in the Vietnam War. While the Russian roulette scenes are undeniably tense, the movie is interlaced with long, drawn-out sequences. That wedding scene alone, right? The Deer Hunter's pacing has often been criticized as sluggish, making this war drama feel like an endurance test. The Charlton Heston starrer Ben-Hur is indeed an epic in every sense. Epic sets, epic chariot race, and an epic 212-minute runtime. The film, which won a record 11 Oscars, tells the story of a prince falsely accused of treason. While it's got some truly impressive scenes, its length, combined with long dialogue sequences and Heston's sometimes wooden acting, can make it feel like you're rowing a Roman galley. One of the highest-grossing films of its time, The Ten Commandments, was Cecil DeMille's last and most successful work. A biblical epic at 220 minutes long, it's like experiencing an overly extended Sunday sermon. As much as we admire Charlton Heston's portrayal of Moses and the groundbreaking, or should I say sea-parting, special effects, by the time the Hebrews reach the Promised Land, you might be suffering from cinematic mana fatigue. Yet it boasts a solid 86% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, making it clear that some viewers still appreciate the divine spectacle. Stanley Kubrick's period drama, Barry Lyndon, was praised for its beautiful cinematography and historical accuracy. Yet this film about an ambitious Irishman's ascent to the British aristocracy clocks in at a sleepy 185 minutes. Its slow-paced narrative, combined with the film's stoic acting, leaves some viewers feeling as detached as its titular character. Despite nabbing 4 Academy Awards and holding an 89% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, the film's snail-like pace could make watching paint dry seem exhilarating. Another David Lean film for the list, Dr. Zvago, is a 3-hour-plus love story set against the backdrop of the Russian Revolution. While the film is praised for its scenic beauty and stirring score, the drawn-out narrative could give Tolstoy a run for his money. Even with 5 Academy Awards to its name and an 85% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes, the epic love triangle might make you wish for a quicker cinematic revolution. Sergio Leone's epic crime drama, Once Upon a Time in America, spans over 4 decades of a gangster's life. Clocking in at 229 minutes, the film's narrative dances around in time, which, combined with Leone's unhurried style, can test the patience of even the most dedicated viewer. Despite its sterling cast, including Robert De Niro and James Woods, its lengthy runtime might leave some viewers feeling they've aged along with the characters.